I'd now like to recognize Ranking Member Cardoza for his opening statement.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for having us here today, and thank you to our witnesses for taking time out of your busy schedules and sharing with us your experiences in the industry. If we watch the news and read the headlines, we would believe that all of agriculture is flying high these days. However, those of us who grow up in farming communities and understand the inner workings of the industry know that each commodity is different. That is why I'm very happy to hold this hearing and participate in this hearing today to discuss beef production, the trends in the industry, and the problems this committee should focus on as we move forward. In California, we've seen volatile prices and increased input costs. This trend is disturbing, but numbers alone do not tell the whole story. Through successful Farm Bill programs like EQIP and Land Water Conservation Fund, cattlemen in California and across the country have worked tremendously hard to conserve water, protect our land, and improve our air quality while also feeding the families of America and the world. We as a committee have a responsibility to promote policies that will keep the industry alive and thriving. A healthy beef industry not only puts affordable food on our table, it provides good jobs for our workers and strengthens national security by making us less dependent on other countries for our food supply. Nonetheless, in this tight budget climate, we need to prioritize programs that are economically and efficiently working for our farmers. We need to focus our resources on initiatives that best help our cattlemen and the beef industry as a whole. I look forward to hearing from our witnesses today about what is and what is not working. Thank you again for being here with us. Thank you. I'm going to ask my other questions so that the rest of you can answer it as you go forward because I've got a limited amount of time. And that is about regulatory burdens on the industry. We've heard a lot of concern from farmers and producers about regulatory uncertainty and the burdens they're under. Do you have any personal experiences with these regulatory agencies that have created cause for your concern? And if you go ahead.
Yep, actually, those are perfect questions, and they juxtapose against each other very well. I do use EQIP funding at my cattle feed yard. I am a concentrated animal feeding operation, which means I operate under EPA's NPDES permit. As such, I am required to catch all of the liquid runoff that comes off of my facility when it rains, as well as have a comprehensive nutrient management plan for properly applying the solids, the natural fertilizer that my cattle produce, back onto our farm ground. I built a livestock waste control facility using EQIP funding just this past fall. I think that that is a great example of how we can collaborate together. We can use taxpayer dollars, we can use new science and technology in order to reduce our environmental footprint and work to do the best job possible. I would like to juxtapose that experience against an EPA inspection that took place at my facility in 2001. One morning in September in 2001, 2 EPA agents walked into my office unannounced, took out their badges, and informed me that they were EPA agents, and if I lied to them, I was going to jail. Now, I don't know about you all, but I don't consider that very collaborative. I consider that combative. I took the gentleman through the feed yard. We looked at all of the written documentation that I have to have. We keep weather and rainfall data. We read the level of water in our holding pond on a daily basis. I keep a lot of environmental records for my operation. So we went through both the records, and I took them on a tour of the facility. And as we drove past the cattle, one of the gentlemen looked at me and said, "I've never been this close to a cow before." He then looked at my pens, and I have traditional pens that have mounds in the middle in order to offer our cattle the best comfort during inclement weather. And he said, "Well, what are you doing with all that piled manure all over the place?" And I said, "I'm sorry, sir, that's not manure. Those are my dirt mounds." So I tell you all of this to make a couple of points. Number one, as I stated this morning earlier in my testimony, it's very important that we work together and we accomplish a common goal. I want to take care of the environment just as much as you do, but we need to be effective and efficient trying to do it. And having combative agents show up on my property without knowledge of my business is not an efficient use of funds. Now, looking at the EQIP cost share funding, that's a tremendously efficient use of taxpayer dollars because it's allowing me to build a new livestock waste control facility that is lined, that is using modern technology, and allows me to protect the groundwater and reduce my environmental footprint. So my answer, my rather long-winded answer to your question is I believe that we share the same goals. And if we can collaborate together through programs such as EQIP so that I can continually work to improve my operation, that is a great use of taxpayer dollars, a much greater use than an environmental protection agency coming to visit me and sending me a letter afterwards telling me that I wasn't keeping my daily rainfall records correctly because I wasn't writing down zeros on the days that it did not rain. I was only recording rainfall when we actually had precipitation. And as a result of that record-keeping error on my part, I had to submit additional paperwork to the agency for better than a year. Now, I hate to speak for other folks, but I don't think that that did a whole lot for protecting the environment. And it certainly didn't come close to what me building a new holding pond using EQIP dollars has done for the environment.
Thank you for your testimony, and thanks to the chairman for giving us some extra time to explore that answer. Appreciate it very much.